Greetings, this is Jim Lindsay. This is an orientation video to show you how to log into the SAM website and then what the welcome process is like as you're, the first time you use it, and then also to introduce you to a couple of ideas, specifically something called Cengage Unlimited, which you do not need. You do not need Cengage Unlimited, which you will be prompted about for probably a couple of weeks when you first start using the system. So let's get into this and make sure everybody knows what to do. All right, I'm starting this video at my Blackboard site for my fall 2019 class. I'm not your teacher, or I'm probably not your teacher, but your teacher is probably going to have some page of their Blackboard site that looks something like this, where there's a link to the video you're watching right now, as well as links out to tutorial videos about the different projects. And so from here, you would be able to click on, for example, this is a link right here that takes you to the SAM login page, which is sam.cengage.com, and I'll show you that for a student account in just a moment. So I'm going to click on that to open up the login page. So somewhere on your Blackboard site, most likely there is a page which has not only a link to the SAM website itself, but also tutorial videos which you need to watch. They are step-by-step instructions showing you how to complete each of the projects, and you're going to need to view those in order to get everything that's in those projects. And so let's get on over to the SAM website, because I want to go ahead and let you see that process. And so the student account I'm going to use is for a fictitious student named Milton Bradley. All right, you've probably heard Milton Bradley before. It's a company that makes games. That's why I chose it, because it was a name that most people would recognize. And I checked in Western's database of students, and as far as I can tell, there's not been a Milton Bradley here. So my fake WKU student is Milton Bradley, and as such, Milton Bradley's email address at WKU would be milton.bradley123@topper.wku.edu. That's important, because the SAM username for Milton Bradley would then be what you see right there. I'm the guy who makes your SAM accounts, and I'm the guy that creates your SAM passwords, at least the initial one that you use to log into the site. So I know this for a fact because I'm the one who makes them. I take your WKU email address, I drop the topper.wku.edu, and I replace it with cis.wku. That is your username. Now, the first time you log in, it will be please1 with a capital P. And then once you log in, like you're about to see, I'm going to log in as Milton here in just a second. It's going to say, hey, you've got to change your password, because that's not good enough. We need to get something else. But the initial time you get there, it's going to be please1. So let me jump on over to the SAM website here and log in. Okay, you can see I'm at the SAM website. It's sam.cengage.com. Cengage is the publisher of this software. They are the publisher of numerous books. You've probably used some of their books in your middle school and high school experience, as well as here at WKU. The username, I typed in that username and password just so you won't have to watch me type those. But you put in the first part of your email address, including the digits at cis.wku, and then please1 with a capital P. You click login, and it's going to say, hey, welcome to SAM here. And I need to then create a new password, and I'll have to do that here. All right, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get this out of the way. Don't want that on my screen. And it wants me to create a new password, so I will do that. Give me one. The next thing I need to do is provide a communication email. I do that when I create the account. What I put in there is your actual WKU email address, so I'm not sure what this one is. I'm going to put one in here just so I can test it out in just a minute. But when I make the account, I include the topper one, so if you forget the password, you can basically have it emailed back to your WKU account. But let me try another one in here, and I'll see what that does. Next, what you do, you type in, use these scrolling arrows to identify your birth year, and then as you can see, you put a recovery question here, something that would make sense to you, and then you would check that you agree to the end user license agreement. So let me go ahead and get these things here, and I'll hit update. Again, I'll pause it while I do this, but I'll meet you at the next screen. Okay, good. So now it's taken me, I hit update, I filled that information in, I hit update, and it took me to the welcome screen for SAM. This is what you're going to see. Now, when you log in, I'm going to log out and log back in here, but this is the calendar view. Now, this is not especially helpful. Instead of the calendar view, what's better is the activity list. If you click on this button for activity list, it'll show you possible things you can work on. And so if you log in and see the activity calendar, just click on activity list to switch over to the helpful view. And I'm using, for this video, just to get this made, I'm using our demo site. So what's going to be different on your screen when you look at this log, because you're going to log directly into your class. When I create your account, I put you directly into your class. And what will pop, most likely, the way you'll see this is the project listed in their date order. So however your teacher wants these done, whatever sequence they're supposed to be done in, you'll see them most likely listed in that order. But you may see activity calendar. That's okay. Just click on activity list. Also, all this Cengage Unlimited stuff right here, you do not need that. Everything you need has already been paid. We use your class fees to pay for this stuff. You already pay a little bit extra to take this class, and so we take that fee and we buy the SAM license with it. And so you'll see the Cengage Unlimited stuff, and as the days go, probably 2 weeks worth of time as we go into the semester, you'll see notices saying like, hey, you only have so many days left, and trying to make it more and more urgent, trying to get you to buy Cengage Unlimited. Don't buy it. You don't need it. Everything you need to get has already been purchased with your class fee, so you are covered. You're good to go. All you need is basically when you log in, you get to that view or that view, and that's all the stuff that you need right there. Okay, so I'm going to log out as Milton here, and I'm going to log back in as Milton and see where, if it takes me to the calendar or it takes me to the other one. Okay, so I logged out and logged back in. It took me back to the calendar. There's a checkbox here where you can set this as the default. If it's on your own computer, I'd recommend you uncheck that and instead go to the activity list. But if you do show up at that activity calendar, just click on the list. So that's good. Now, how do you use this? Well, I show at the beginning of every tutorial video, I made those. What you do, you click on a link for whatever you want to work on, and then it presents you with, I'll just go with this Excel one as an example. Now let's go with PowerPoint 1 because it's got more stuff. So you click on PowerPoint 1. Let's say that's the first project I need to complete. It's going to say, hey, you've got so many submissions left. You get up to 5 on every project. Hit start. It's going to say these are the files you need for your project. There's an instruction file, a start file. You'll always have those two. Now you may have support files as well. So what you do, in this case, I believe I'm using Chrome here. You can use Chrome, you can use Firefox, you can use Safari, you can use Edge, you can use just about any browser. I'm going to click on these files to download them, and it will download on my computer to wherever files are downloaded. In a lab computer, it may be on the desktop. At your home computer, most likely it's going to be the downloads folder. So let me check on this computer. Okay, on this computer, I'm going to click on the little folder for File Explorer. And go to downloads, and it took those 4 files to my desktop. The instructions, of course, are going to be it's a list of in words describing for me what I need to accomplish in order to complete this project. And at the end of each instruction file, there's a picture of the completed file. So take advantage of that, because it will show you, for whether it's Word, Excel, or PowerPoint, it has pictures of the completed projects for you. The start file is going to be a file of the type, of which you're working. So it's either going to be a PowerPoint, Excel, or Word file. And the first step in every single project is to rename the start file from what you see right there. There's a number 1. There's your name. In this case, it's Milton's file. So it's Milton Bradley _1. So the first step in every single project for every single application is to change that name from Milton Bradley _1 to Milton Bradley _2, or your first name, last name to _1 to 2. And you achieve that by going to the file, save as, and then you change that from the 1 to the 2. You hit save, and there you go. So now that's a file now I could submit. Until I rename it, I cannot submit the file. And so that is the start file. Okay, I show the submission process in every single video and every tutorial. When it gets to the end, I submit the file for grading, and in several of those, I had mistakes and I had to go and fix those. And so in some of those, you'll get to see that more than once. So I won't show that to you now, so you'll see that in the tutorial videos. But one last note about this. When you go back to SAM, once you're done working, you'll see the submission process. I wanted to mention what kind of computer you can use to complete these projects. We have 12 projects total, and I chose projects which, according to the publisher, according to Cengage, every one of these projects can be completed on a Windows computer and on a Mac computer. Again, a Windows personal computer or an Apple Mac computer with Office. We assume you have Office 365. You can download Office 365 from Western. Part of the technology fees that you pay go for licenses of that. You get up to 5 different computers on which you can install that. So if you don't have Office 2019, uninstall what you have and install Office 365. That's going to get you up to date, and you'll have all the bells and whistles and features that are current, and you'll be able to complete these projects. Now, when I made the tutorial videos, the only kind of computer I have is a Windows computer. So all of the instructions are on a Windows computer. With all of the projects except one. Let me go back to the activity list. Back here on the activity list, you'll see Word 2 is the only project which is unique. On Word 2, you either download Apple files or Windows files, and the computer you use to do the download will determine what kind of files you get. So Apple users, on that project, make sure that if you're going to use your Apple, that you start and finish on your computer, because in the computer labs, they're all Windows computers. And so, if you're going to use your Mac, then make sure you start on your Mac, get your Mac, because the start files will have the word Mac in them. But besides that, I think everything should be completely doable on both platforms. As far as how you do it on the Apple, I don't show that because again, the kind of computer I was using was a Windows machine. But according to the instructions we have, everything should be possible. So, and there are hints as you look in the instruction as you go through there. It'll say like Apple, Apple users. Here's a hint. This has a little bit different name on an Apple, and there aren't many of those, but there are a couple. So that's how you log into SAM. That's how you get your start files and your support files. You'll see how to use those and submit those in the tutorial videos. If you forget your information, if you go to the login, let's say it's been a week since you logged in, you forgot what your information is, you can put in your username, which is going to be the first part of your email address at cis.wku, and click on forgot password, and it will that's where you put in your password, your username right there. So let me give this a try. Oh, forgot my 123. And it's going to prompt me for my security question. So I typed in my answer and it said, hey, we've sent that to your address, to your email address, and that was the communication email address I put in there. So then you go and you check your email, you come back and you can put your password. If you just can't figure it out, contact your instructor and they can reset it for you. Again, but that takes time. So if you're trying to get it done, use your forgot password link to go out there and retrieve your link, have it sent back to your communication email. So hopefully that's everything you need. I think it is. If you have questions, contact your instructors. Work early on this stuff. It's all very doable stuff. It's very, but it takes time. So make sure you're not waiting to the last minute. And good luck. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you learn a lot. Have a great day.